Hello there, my Gemini collective Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. This is your me, them, us reading for the remainder of the month of September 2019. This is a version of a reading I do for myself. I've been doing it for years. In relationships, sure, the romantic sexual ones are probably predominant that I've used, but use it for other things like my relationship to money, right? Me, money, and what's our relationship together? So I'm using a spread similar to the True Love reads that I did last time. The Twin Flame reads that I did last time. But we're not going to use clarifiers because those went over an hour easily. This is hardly going to be a quickie, but we're shooting for about a half hour, right? To get you what you need. So the thing is, my Geminis, I'm going to ask you to do something you may not like doing. I'm going to ask you to focus on one particular relationship that you want to look at. It can be any form. You know, it can be a person, place, or thing. A noun is a person, place, or thing. Schoolhouse Rock. I was raised on it. It's the only reason I know my 3 times tables, because that was a hot song. It's a magic number. While I'm doing this, right, I just want you to kind of have one in mind. So really, within the first 5 minutes or so, once the cards hit the table, you'll know whether this is your read or not. And go with your gut. I know I'm asking an air sign to go with their gut, but if you're Gemini Moon, right, maybe a good idea. Go with your gut. Go with how it feels. And I'm sure I'll make it fun. All of the decks I'm reading are in the description box below, along with my new PayPal me link. If you would like to tip me, a little PayPal always goes a long way, doesn't it? Like cigarettes, gas, you know, cat food. That kind of stuff. Oh, cat foods are so much more essential than cigarettes. I know. My boys eat well, believe me. One of them looks pretty much like a football with legs, but solid muscle too. So let's get down to it. We're going to start with Caroline Mace archetype card for you all. So we're going to do the first line of energy across being you. All right, my Geminis. The second line will be the other, right? So the first is me, you. Second line, them, and then the third line will be us. But we're only doing 15 cards. We're not going into great big huge clarifiers here, though in a sense, once I have these 3 cards down, you, them, us, or me, them, us, you'll see then the rest of the cards will tend to clarify the archetypes laid down. So I already blessed the deck. It was lovely. My heart flew open. It was really, really sweet, really, really nice. But, you know, what I feel during the shuffle and the blessing of the cards while I'm shuffling them. We'll see if that comes up. And what plays out in the cards. We'll see. It's not always 100% congruent. So let's shoot for it. Here we go. My collective pantheon of angels, gods, masters, and higher selves. New. Please, one card. What's the dominant archetype for this Gemini collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign for the remainder of September 2019 in this relationship that they're in? Oh, we've got the card of the addict. I have to say, this one's been popping up left, right, and center for people. It doesn't mean that you're an addict, but that you're dealing with the archetype and that there is a soul power to be developed, alchemized from lead to gold. And I will read that once all 3 of the archetype cards are out. So don't freak out. Look, everybody's got their addictions. I know people who are addicted to being right, that when they are finally revealed to being wrong, they go through signs of physiological withdrawal. So we've all got them. I got mine. I got my cigarettes, right? That's pretty much it. Cigarettes and coffee are really my only addictions. I mean, codependence is a form of addiction, right? Relationship addiction, romance addiction, sex addiction. At least some of those externals you can keep your eye on, right? Well, what about food addiction? You know, it sucks. You got to eat, right? Well, workaholics. God, do I know a lot of workaholics escaping their stuff by working. But by the way, that might also be that you are learning about addicts in your life, that you might not be the one, but you might be the one who has to confront them. Just saying, because that's in the card. How do I know that? It came up earlier. Forget if it was the Aries or the Taurus reads, one of them. So let's get one then, please. My pantheons, please, for the them, in the us, them reading here for this Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Sun relationship. Rest of September. Ooh, the Exorcist. Good. Now there's no pea soup involved that I'm aware of. Very close to the shaman archetype. So that's really powerful. Now keep in mind, If you know that you have an addiction with something, then the them being your subject of addiction, then that's pretty powerful and very positive. So remember to go in just literally on any reading. Sometimes you miss the boat entirely. It's all about the angles. It's all about the interpretations. And that is the job of the reader, to learn as many different interpretations of a card as possible, or any divination system. It doesn't have to be a card, a rune, a yarrow stick, whatever they're working with. And then to really develop the intuition to feel which one it is, right, by how it feels. And there are so many brilliant readers on YouTube that I've been watching who can really do that. They say, I know the meaning is this, but this is really what I'm feeling here. And that's what you want. You want someone who's got a balance of the masculine and feminine, the intellectual understanding and the intuitive development. Twins. I have both. I'm a Virgo, intellectual, and a Pisces moon. So there you have it. So let's get now for the relationship itself. My Pantheon, the same thing. Please show me, what is the dominant archetype for this relationship itself involving this Gemini Sun, Moon, Rising sign? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign for the remainder of September 2019. This addict archetype development in with this exorcist, please. Oh, there you are. I felt you hit my finger. There you are. Oh, the divine child. Very, very interesting. So let's have a look-see-duck-see at that. So the addict archetype, we will start there. Like I said, everybody's got their addiction. We all have to deal with addicts and our own addictions at some point or another, right? So in relationships, you can have a relationship, like I have a very strong relationship with very strong coffee, right? And it is an addiction. If I gave that up, that would be a physical addiction. I would go through physical withdrawal. Oh, the headaches fucking sedate me if I have to do that, thankfully. I'm not going to. So let me read you the light and the shadow, right? The light attribute helps you recognize and confront addictive behavior, maybe your own, maybe another's, right? But that there's a thing of recognizing and confronting addictive behavior, okay? Shadow attribute compromises integrity and honesty, because addicts lie, allows an addictive pattern to have authority over your inner spirit. In other words, well, what that really means is that your inner spirit is saying, no, we're whole and complete, we're whole and complete, we're getting into alignment, we're experiencing pain, there are things we don't want to deal with, we'll deal with them, just keep breathing. And this is like, but no, I need that purse. Right? It's all medication, whether it's a person, whether it's more work or it's working out, if it's food, if it's drugs or it's alcohol, could be another person, hence relationship addiction, which is sort of what codependence has become. It wasn't the original meaning of it, but you know, Melody Beattie, Codependent No More, go read it. It's not an easy read. So that's you, that's your archetype, my gems. The other, regardless of whether this is a person, place, or thing, is an exorcist, which I find very powerful. I feel that. Look, I'm not going to culturally appropriate the word shaman for myself. I'm from Long Island, born and raised, lived all over, but no, I'm a witch, thank you very much. But have I been trained in shamanic techniques? Have I done exorcisms? Yes. As a matter of fact, you know, people call them house blessings. They're exorcisms, right? So now you'll see why. The light attribute, freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses, right? So, you know, and by the way, if this flip-flops and you identify more as the exorcist than the addict, although granted, that's a lot of vowel work going on there either way, I get it. But feel this out. Like I said, whatever it is that you were focusing on while I was, well, I know we're not doing it in the exact same moment, but that's the thing. We'll tell you whether or not this is your read, because I can't read every Gemini in the collective everywhere, because that's pretty much double, isn't it? Same with Pisces, right? So the shadow attribute, fear of facing your own demons. Well, why else would somebody? So, you know, if this shamanic vibe here, this shamanic person, place, or thing really has a fear of facing their own demons, then maybe you have to confront how they are avoiding their demons. And is it through addiction? So either way. It's a big deal, but you know, the relationship itself, I gotta say, the divine child, you couldn't ask for a better archetype. Now, to clarify, the child archetype is really vast. Everybody's got the child archetype because we were all children. No one was born at 40 years old. You may be reborn at 40 years old. No one born 40 years old. Benjamin Buttons. But with the divine child, which is a sub pattern within, right? There's the nature child, the magical child, the orphan child, the wounded child, all of those. This one's pretty skippy. You know, this is for the relationship overall. Light attribute, innocence, purity, and redemption. So there's a possibility for a fresh start here, and redemption suggests a special connection with the divine, like parentage, right? So that it's very much so that the divine is involved here, that this isn't just a spiritual thing, that's a mystical thing. Because as soon as you bring the divine into it, look, is all energy, is all spiritual energy divine energy? I don't know. I'm feeling where in my gut, nope. Nope, there are a lot of people who have spiritual energy who are not necessarily plugged into the divine aspect of it, right? That's led to gold right for you right there, and I've worked for a bunch of them and with a bunch of them. So you can get that, right? It's like innocence, purity, and redemption, that there's a real opportunity here. But the shadow attribute, an inability to defend oneself against negative forces. And what is this exorcist about? Freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses or negative forces. So that inability, again, how do people do that? They run away, they hide. Now, whether the runaway is literal, like ghosting somebody, or just pick up and run, you know, runaways, the chaser runaway situation, but also another way that we run away and avoid is through addictions, compulsives. You know, things that we know the ramifications of the choice. We know there's a consequence to that choice, and we know what it is because we just can't deal, right? So instead, let me eat cake. Yeah, I'm right there with you. Oh my God, I'm doing this in the wrong one, aren't I? Okay, you guys get to see how I do these videos. Fuck. Not editing it either. Folks, I did it in the wrong group. And I have my past life son and one of my dearest friends watching these. Oh well. Guess what? Words of Grace. I have a Words of Grace Facebook group. Am I blushing, or is that the light? I don't blush. I've forgotten how. I don't know that I can. Let's look at then my angels here for this one. Maybe I should do this. You guys just don't fucking distract me with goofy shit. Now you're going to, aren't you? Yeah, figured. I love you all. Anyway, here we go. My ears are burning. Where's my... Excuse me, I have this just for in case I get overheated. It's better this way though. Don't you like that, Geminis? Okay. So, my angels, please clarify this card of the addict for this Gemini sun, moon, rising, Venus sign. Please clarify what is this addict about in this relationship for the rest of September? Well, friendship. So that's good. So right away, we're not necessarily looking at, you know, passionate, true love, whatever, but that you can approach this in a friendly way, right? That you can be a friend of the addict here, but definitely the addict archetype and you kind of confronting addictive behavior possibly in them could be up and going on. Meanwhile, they might be going through an exorcism. So let's clarify, please, my angels. Please clarify this exorcist card for us, the sun, moon, rising, Venus sign Gemini for the rest of September 2019 for the other in this relationship. Oh, well, there's an answered prayer, and that answered prayer might indeed involve you, my Geminis. It does sort of feel right and make sense. Well, and the answer to their prayer is probably very much that they are exorcising their demons, right? Freeing themselves of destructive impulses to perhaps hit that addiction again. Now, if the roles are reversed there and you are the addict, but the exorcist is the one helping you, I think you would have the answered prayer. They would have the friendship card. That's what I'm feeling in my gut. Let's keep going. Please, my angels, overall for this Gemini relationship, sun, moon, rising, Venus sign for the rest of September. What's going on here? Well, and that there are blessings, which is very appropriate with the divine child. So let me line up these three for you. So here you've got, let's do it this way. You've got friendship. They've got the answered prayer, but together there are blessings here. So this is not something to run from. This is something to slowly walk toward, to be gentle and kind. And how do I know that, you may ask, is that you've got really the addict with friendship. You've got the exorcist with an answered prayer, and you've got the divine child with blessings. I think you're following where I'm going here. Now, I do not make final summation until all the cards are on the table. That's just how I roll, or how I deal, I guess you'd say. So let's do this. They're commenting. Yeah, I record these in a Facebook group because honestly, the software is better. And it's easier to edit and download, to be completely honest. So now let me ask my gods. Now it's funny, the god that sits in the throne of Gemini for me is Hermes. I'm wearing 2 of his earrings because it's in Gemini, right? And talk about the god of liars, gamblers, and thieves. Here we go. Also the psychopomp that covers both the addict and the exorcist, and he is a divine child. So maybe say a prayer to Hermes. Just saying Hermes, Mercury, Miguathoth. My gods, please, 1 card of clarity for this addict archetype with this friendship in this Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, us, them, me, them, us relationship. Well, you got burnout. Now, burnout does have that contemporary sense of I've overcommitted. I've said yes when I really needed to say no. My gas tank was empty on fumes, but I still pushed it anyway, and now I am burned out. And though that might be true for some of you in the collective, there is also that thing of something being completely transformed. It's the 8 of Flames, which, you know, in the Rider-Waite Tarot, it's those wands, kind of so fast-moving action, like a wildfire. So there is that, too, that this might be going down pretty fast at an 8. But also, should things be reduced to ash, which, you know, I'm not going to necessarily say that this is the death card of the minor arcana. I'm not feeling that. I don't think anyone would agree with that, particularly with anything based on the Rider-Waite. Daughters of the Moon is not necessarily inspired by, but not really based on. Imagery is wildly different. Oh, and if you look in the distance there, there's still green around it, right? This is a temporary thing. This will grow back. Ash makes good fertilizer. Eventually, you just need good conditions and someone to care about what's going on there, right? So, my gods, please, Hermes, the same thing for this exorcist with the answered prayer, please, the other. Well, compassion. It really, really feels like whoever this exorcist is in for a penny, in for a pound. That 6 of Cups of emotional balance, right? The giving and receiving of compassion, compassion for the self, compassion for another. And I've said it probably 100 times, compassion is really about understanding everybody is doing the best that they can, that nobody has all the answers. I don't care how fucking smart you think you are. Nobody has all the answers. Isn't that right? Words of Grace Facebook group. Babies, I'm going to download this thing and then delete it from this group. Yeah, thank God it's a secret group. All right, last card of this this horizontal line here, please. Hermes, 1 card, please, for the overall relationship involving this Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign for the rest of September. The me plus the them equals the us. Please, 1 card for the us. Well, 3 of Wands, loyalty, waiting, right? That card, usually it's the person holding the wands looking out over the bay waiting for their ships to come in, but this has a much more like I will light a candle and I will sit with you and I will walk through you. That this is really, I mean, I know that first addict card down, it's like, ooh, my ass done slammed shut, but this actually feels very loving, and I did it when I was blessing the cards. My heart's going like that. Was very warm, like it didn't feel, there was no sexy in it, but don't worry, we've got the Chuck Spezzano love pack, which has all sorts of cards in it, and half of it is the problem death, problem suit, womp womp. So let's see what womp womps we get, shall we? Oh, my masters, please, 1 card for this Gemini collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign in this relationship for September 2019. We've got the addict archetype with friendship and the 9 of Flames, burnout. Please clarify for this Gemini. Oh, but there's a delight in this. See, this is a friendly thing. I know, like a friendly addiction. That maybe there's some addictive aspects in you. Maybe there's some different. Suddenly I'm speaking broken English from Italian, like my great grandma. But yeah, maybe there's some unhealthy attachment here. But that card of delight says that this is not fatal. This is not the end of the world. And again, with that Eight of Flames, very, very fast. This could be like a blip that you're dealing with for the next couple of weeks, right? Until the end of September. So let's find out with this exorcist, please, my masters. One card to clarify the them in this reading, this exorcist, with answered prayer and the Six of Cups, compassion, please. What's going on here, please? A clue, a tip, a hint for us. All right, I hear you. 1, 2, 3. Bottom card, drought. Now that's funny, considering we've got that Six of Cards, the Six of Cups, compassion card there, that they might have overpoured their cup. Oh, so they've got drought. You've got burnout. That makes sense. And that there's a thing here, loyalty to the divine, then to yourselves individually, then to each other. There must be some rejuvenation here, some filling of some cups, some watering of some stuff going on. Hi, I'm actually recording this for YouTube. I just did it in the wrong group. I literally have people from my... You should join my Words of Grace. I don't like using the word. If you're interested, the link is below for the Words of Grace Facebook group, Mark A. Lyons. We're a fun group. I do live streams pretty much every Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard, unless, of course, I'm on vacation. We're burnt. We're burned out. Yeah. Let's get the last one down here, please. My masters, one card for this, the relationship itself, this Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Sun relationship. The remainder of September 2019. What's going on here with this divine child with blessings and loyalty? Please, my masters, 1, 2, 3. Same thing. All right, but there's sensuality. Now, sensuality is not necessarily sexuality, but there is something sensual here. That perhaps there is that support of the pat on the back. Perhaps there is that thing of wanting to just reach out and hold each other through this to help each other be comfortable, because sensuality really speaks about the 5 senses. And that there is this tangible sense of loyalty here. And with blessings, this is pretty awesome. You know, and here's why. I'm looking at this, right, card of burnout, right? And that card, the Six of Cups with compassion, and then the Three of Flames, loyalty, right? But then you match the burnout with delight. That you ever been just so burned out from just loving it? It's like, I've given everything I've got, but it's okay. I love you, right? The same thing might be going on here with this other, right? We've got the Six of Cups, compassion with drought, that maybe you both just need a little breaky poo, right? You need a little time out, particularly if there are addictions involved here or in one way or another. Perhaps you're the one dealing with with addictions, by the way, your own or somebody else's. And the exorcist is somebody like a counselor, or maybe indeed a shaman, a healer of some kind, an answer to a prayer. But it feels like the answered prayer, that you're the answered prayer. This is an answered prayer. That's really how it feels in the lineup here. But that then with this real pairing of loyalty and sensuality, it's like you have each other's back. There's a tangible connection here. But again, I'm not necessarily feeling it's romantic sexual. Whatever you focused on while I was setting up the cards, you know that by now you know whether or not this is your reading. It's impossible to read for every sign in the collective. But we've got 3 cards left, and I love these. I love this Whisper of Love deck. So helpful to me personally, right? Sometimes just tells you out and out, try this. So my collective pantheon of angels, gods, masters, and higher selves, please. 1 card for this Gemini collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. In this me plus them equals us relationship for the remainder of September 2019. Please give them a whisper of love. Express love through gifts. Giving a small token to someone expresses your love for them, particularly if you're burned out. Particularly if you're like, oh, I'm just so drained. I've given my all, but you know, I was food shopping and I know you like blueberries, so I found these really huge ones and I thought of you. Right? That's so sweet, right? It's like that you can express your love through something simple, and sometimes really even just telling people how much you appreciate them is such the gift, you know. Like, gifts don't always have to be so physical, tangible, but I get that's the meaning of that card. But, you know, just to say, as hard as this has been, can I get you some onion rings? You know, can I buy you lunch? Just thank you, right? A real move of gratitude. So my collective pantheon of angels, gods, masters, and higher selves, please, 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 one for the other, the them in this me, them, us reading for this Gemini collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign for the remainder of September 2019. Like attracts like. That's interesting. Like attracts like. If you are longing for more love in your life, you need to be more loving. Now, I'm not getting that that's an issue with this exorcist, with this answered prayer and compassion, but though they are in drought, there is that thing where maybe they need to that you've attracted each other in that sense, that you're both a little on the burnout side. They've got drought, you've got burnout. Now, to me, drought is always going to be about water, so that might be emotionally parched. So maybe, you know, your burnout and their drought, it's fire and water in that way. And so you've come together to in some way be more loving. So there's a real mutuality, and that loyalty card just staring me in the third eye right there, the Three of Flames. So let's clarify that. Excuse me. Last card down, my collective pantheon of angels, gods, masters, and higher selves, please. One card to end this reading to clarify this Gemini collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign in this us plus that plus them equal me plus them equals us reading for the end of September 2019, please. So this Gemini collective reading. We've got the divine child with blessings, with the Three of Flames, with sensuality, a clue, a tip, a hint. Appreciate this moment. Each and every situation has an opportunity to grow and find love, which does indicate that there is great love in this relationship. Nothing here saying it's romantic. Nothing here saying that it is sexual in nature. This could be any kind of relationship structure. Doesn't mean that it's not romantic sexual. Could very well be. But you would know then if it was romantic sexual, then this might be a romance addiction. And believe me, romance addiction is a thing, right? Psychological, has its biological component, because every emotion the body creates a chemical for, it embeds in the cells. You stop getting that thing, those chemicals start detoxing. That's really hard. Still, an emotional detox is a physical detox in that sense. Yeah, we talk about body-mind connection, right? Well, there you have it. The emotion is the bridge in the biochemistry. But overall, I have to say, like, lining these cards up, here we go, addict with friendship, right, really says that there's something friendly going on here, but burned out, and yet somehow there is a delight here, and the counsel to express love through a small token, a small gift. That gift might be, hey, I don't have much to give right now, I'm running on empty, running on, running blind, running on. Little Jackson Brown for you there. He's so cute still. That you can kind of feel that, right? You can feel that that this relationship for you for the rest of the month can be something really open and flowing and giving and friendly. And just be honest and say, I'm really burned out, but you know, I just have to give you the gift of at least a thank you, right? Some appreciation. Because then the them, isn't that from Good Omens? The them. We've got an exorcist here with an answered prayer, and I do feel like you're their answered prayer, that they prayed for you in some way, or they prayed and you showed up. That there is a great balancing of emotion here, of compassion between the two of you, right? Though in a drought, you know, it's easy to have gratitude when the larder is full. Oh, sorry, the larder. I'll say the refrigerator, the pantry, the cabinets are full. That this is still compassion when somebody is really, really in a place of drought in their life. And with like attracts like, and answered to their prayer, brought somebody who may be well dealing with the same thing. So maybe you're dealing with an addict in your life, if not your own addictions. Remember, everybody has one. Everybody has their addictions, their attachments, etc. maybe they're going through the same thing. And so you have manifested someone who is an answer to your prayer, and you are an answer to their prayer. And that you can both sit there and go, damn, I'm so fucking drained from this, right? And that makes sense to me. That makes a logical sense, and not just a gut intuitive sense, a heart sense. It's what I was feeling when I was blessing the cards before I hit the record button in the wrong Facebook group. Well, Reggie Jackson didn't hit a home run every time, did he? No, he did not. Let me just go through this last line for you, right? The divine child archetype, so sweet, so innocent. Redemption, the word redemption here. You can help each other redeem this relationship in general because it's a great blessing with loyalty and this sensuality. Like, okay, now I'm getting like, even in that sense of, I get you're burned out. Honey, I feel it, right? What can I do? How can I help? And you can say, well, honey, I know you're in drought. What can I do? What can I help? I get it. What do you need? What do you need? What do you need? And then to really appreciate this moment together, because this moment, maybe this relationship is one you've been in for a while. Maybe it's brand new, but there's something about this moment. Doesn't mean that it's going to necessarily disappear in 2 weeks, right? But to really look at that there's something really here to appreciate. Why? Because the divine child is being born within this relationship. You could say that it is, at least for the rest of this month, the relationship is being reborn in a divine way that serves. So overall, my Geminis, yeah, this really, really feels like a healing situation here. My eye is drawn to that Six of Cups compassion and that Three of Flames loyalty, that there's something really, really wonderful here happening in potential. It is a probability. Is there work involved? Sure. But Gemini, all you're being asked to do is express love through gifts. That the other in this one kind of gets, the like attracts like, that there's a mirroring process going on here. And that for both of you to appreciate this moment because of the blessings and the loyalty and the sensuality, really the physical understanding of each other. Yeah, I get it, I get it, I get it. Cool, cool. So that's what I see for you, my Geminis, and may you be blessed. This does not feel like an easy situation, an easy relationship by any stretch. And remember that second line, the them can be a substance, can be all sorts of different people, places, and things. So go with your gut. Don't overthink this too much. But if you know who this is, what this relationship is about, then you kind of know what to do. And by the way, with that card of burnout, no one's expecting you to do it quickly. Slow and steady wins the race. Be gentle. Take care of you. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Melchior agrees, apparently. Kitten. Big football kitten, but kitten. The PayPal me link is down there if you'd like to make a donation. Always helpful. But really, just that you're watching, I really, really hope this helped. But for now, my darlings, hail, farewell, and blessed be.